For a trap to work, General, we need the right bait.
Hey there, everybody. I know what you're thinking. More Final Faction stuff? But yes, more Final Faction stuff. I was planning on making a video at some point when I stumbled across these accessory packs and support units, but I felt really compelled to make a quick video when I stumbled across these guys. Krepitus, and finally the release of Diabol.
Diabolical!
No, I said Diabol. Close enough. Anyway, let's open them up and take a closer look at them. So Krepitus and Diabol are built quite a bit larger than the standard characters, which is pretty much what you want, what you would hope for. Rocking the big body. He is slightly taller than the Brute, just by literally a head, just a tiny bit. It's kind of neat and kind of nice that they didn't just use the standard Brute buck with a different head on it. As you can kind of tell, he's got some different sculpting and different detailing on his figure than the Brute. That's a nice touch, one of those nice touches we've come to enjoy from this line. That, as I always say, is kind of impressive in a dollar action figure line. The only complaint I would have is that he's maybe a little too hot pink and a little too fuchsia and violet and purples and whatever. A little bit darker paint scheme on that would have been nice, but that's okay. Not a whole lot of paint detail in the face and chest, but that's okay. I do like the sort of dark green color of Krepitus. The Krepitus figure comes with a few accessories here, some nice weapons, and his little sidekick Flea. No accessories with Diabol here. Okay, let's pop these guys open. The legs are a little loose on this one. I'm guessing that's probably just this particular figure has loose leg joints because the arms are on there pretty tight. Again, that basic articulation, that 5-point articulation, does have some spots on his forearms there for extra weapons and accessories. And with the bio-organic nature of the weaponry, it'll kind of create that effect like it's grafted on, which is pretty cool. And you could definitely repaint him if you wanted to. There wouldn't be any harm in that. And once again, it's a dollar figure, so $1.25 figure. So if you screw it up, you know, it's a pretty cheap canvas to work on. So if you mess up, you can always try again. I'd say my only complaint about Krepitus is those arms might be in a little too tight, kind of bang into his knees when you raise and lower them. Arm blades plug in on the forearms, pretty nice. Sculpting's good, no real paint detail on the two different styled blades. That's kind of cool too. I was looking for a little notch on Krepitus's shoulder to maybe set Flea on. That might be the place. As you can see, there's a little notch underneath. So that might be, yep, I reckon that's how that goes on there. So Flea can rest sweetly on Krepitus's shoulder. Oh, isn't that cute? So yeah, big and scary and pretty imposing when compared to the humanoid figures. Only the ACRM is on the scale, basically on the scale of Krepitus and Diabol. Once again, if these had been around when I was a kid, I would have thought these were totally awesome. I dig it. Yeah, some pretty cool designs on those. Big and scary, and that's what you want out of your bad guys. So let's move on to some of the accessory items. So they've released a lot of these cool little accessory packs. They didn't have all of them in stock, and some of them I didn't pick up. I know, what a cheapskate. They're $1. Why didn't I grab them all? I know. I didn't grab too many of the Kharn weapons. I did like the look. I did enjoy the bio weapon. Well, there's not something I want to be on the record as saying, that I enjoy bio weapons. Who has two thumbs and enjoys bio weapons? This guy. Bioweapons? Anyway, I mean the sort of organic nature of the Kharn weaponry. There's a cool sort of bio-organic hammer that was that's designed for the Brutes. There was a cool pack called the Evolution Pack, the Synthoid Evolution Pack. I can't believe I passed up on a Lovecraftian tentacle that was in in that pack. I'll probably have to run back and grab some of those, because those are pretty cool. This pack sort of caught my eye. Looks like it's specifically, mainly for Torn, but it does say packs work with most Alpha Team characters. The Cyber Arms pack looks pretty cool. It's supposed to plug into the back of your character and basically be like a partial exosuit with different sorts of weapons and things. I might have to give that a shot, see how it works. So yeah, you can see you have your basic arm structure and then several different blade attachments that can go on. Little backpack that plugs into your character's back. Okay. I think. Little gray bits plug into like so. Little gray pieces plug in. And the secondary black piece, I believe the blade goes down. Yep, pop that bit in there and repeat on the other side. Does take a little bit more wiggling and pushing than you would think. Don't read into that. Again, maybe a little bit more adult supervision might be required than I previously thought. Okay, there's your basic arm setup. Plug your claws in, maybe. They don't actually have any gripping function, but they still look pretty cool. And you can, you know, play pretend. That's what they're for. So many of these episodes I don't intend to be build episodes, but they always seem to turn into one. I don't know how that happens. That one has a little bit of a Halo energy blade look to it, doesn't it? A little bit of a Warhammer style chainsword going on there. So there's all that put together. Arms swing around a little bit. A little bit of rotation in that socket. And there it is attached to the back of Torn as per instructions. So yeah, that's kind of a cool little idea right there. I'm enjoying that. Another set that I thought was really cool was this long range set, aimed mostly at scope, no pun intended. Plenty of guns in there and this extra backpack. That's really cool for beefing up your squad. And also I was thinking that even if you aren't really interested in this Final Faction line, although I don't see how you couldn't be. How you couldn't be excited about it or interested in it. But if you had another action figure line in this scale that you were doing a sort of army building kind of thing with, this would be great to outfit those troops with weapons. It's super cheap and comes with quite an arsenal for the price. So yeah, that's kind of a neat little bargain solution to your army building enterprise there. 4 rifles, each with their own stats and specialty. So yeah, that's pretty cool to outfit your alpha team with extra weapons, or like I said, or whatever line of action figures you might be currently collecting in this scale. The next item we're going to look at is the X4 turret, mobile defense platform. I love, love, love that the legs actually move up and down. That's pretty cool. The turret, the guns spin, of course, as you would hope. And as you can see, it comes with these 2 little orange rockets, which even though they're orange, I'm sure will still get lost in your carpet somewhere or down a radiator. Don't seem to want to stay in very well. There we go. And in case you were wondering, yes, they do indeed fire, if that's something you're interested in. Like the card says, don't aim it at your face. And now we're going to move on to the one item they've released so far that I'm really not too sure that I like, which is surprising because I normally am always on board with the robot, but I have my reasons and I will explain to you what those are. So you might be thinking to yourself, what's the big deal? What's the problem? The mech design doesn't look that bad. It kind of reminds me of one of those old Happy Kid drones. Remember those mechs? You might be thinking it's kind of small, kind of squat, and therein lies the problem. As you might recall in the cartoon, they sort of come transported in this shape, but the only problem is they don't come out of this formation. They have sculpted bits that look like the legs would extend, but they don't. So they're permanently in this sort of squat position instead of being able to stand up to their full height. So you're basically stuck with them at this height, and they don't quite look threatening as they probably should. I know they were probably trying to keep it down to those 5 points of articulation, but as we've seen, they've been willing to add extra action features into some of their other figures and things, so why not just add that extra bit of articulation in place of an action feature and allow these things to stand up like they're supposed to? Because yeah, it just looks kind of silly like this, and I don't like it. Most everything else in the line, I've had some minor complaints with a lot of figures and things, but, you know, they had more pros than cons, more positives than negatives. And this negative is just too much for me to overlook. It just kind of ruins the figure for me, which is too bad. In every other respect, it's actually a decent little figure, but just that one thing is kind of a deal breaker, for me at least. There are plenty of spots to plug in other weapons and things like that, but I'm thinking if you're getting figures from the line, maybe just give this one a pass. That's up to you. It's only $1, so that's up to you. Okay, and now moving on to something I actually really do like, is these crawlers. The sort of swarm, overwhelm the alpha team with sheer numbers kind of creature that come 2 to a pack, so that's a fairly decent bargain. Yeah, I'm really liking these. Joints are a little loose on these. All 6 of the legs, I guess these might be pinchers, whatever you want to call them, have movement, have articulation on them, back and forth, not a whole lot of up and down. I'm not quite sure what plugs in here. Maybe I don't want to know. I'm guessing some of the Kharn organic weaponry accessories plug in there. But yeah, these are neat. Nice sculpting, nice paint for a $1 figure. That's pretty impressive, pretty neat. pretty cool. And this is another one of those things where even if you're not interested in this line specifically, might be used in another capacity. If you were doing like a diorama or a display that's supposed to be set on an alien planet and you need some fauna to go along with your flora, these might be some good little critters to have running around. Or if you were doing a spaceport display, I think we've all seen some of those really large and impressive spaceport displays people put a lot of work into, and if I had the time and space,
come with us now on a journey through time and space.
I would love to do something like that myself. But yeah, maybe if you wanted to do a little spaceship or spaceport infestation, you could have something like this. This could be your knockoff Minoc,
if you will,
or something like that. Although I'm pretty sure knockoff Minoc was a foreign exchange student that came to our school when I was in junior high. I think he might have been cousins with Balki Bartakamus.
Don't be ridiculous.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't care for the
P-131s
so much, but these I am liking. I like the X4 turret, and I like the 2-pack of crawlers, and I'm enjoying all the accessory packs, but yeah, the drone's the only one that's not terribly high on my list. So yeah, for the most part, I would say all of the stuff that's come out is still pretty cool. Most everything that's been released in this line has been pretty cool. They have their drawbacks and limitations, but as I always say about this line, for the price point, it's not that bad. You can kind of overlook some of the negatives on most of the figures and accessories, and it's very cool to see some more of these villain characters and some of these oversized characters for your collection, or to be some pretty impressive and scary baddies for your kids' other action figures to fight. I think these are pretty neat, and like I always say, I'm looking forward to seeing what else the design team has up their sleeve. So, as always, I appreciate you watching. Thank you, and until next time, I will see you.
Turn your lasers on those insolent humans!